Hello there. And hello once again. Hola, Tina. How are you, Agustin?
I am really good. I am really good. Keeping
Well,
busy and but that's what we do. That's
that's
what we
what
do.
we do. Yes. And so, once again, we are here, the face of a hero. And we want to thank all of you for joining us today. We're going to, I'm all about real talk. So, we're going to have some real talk here today because of so many things that are taking place. Things that we want to know what your thoughts are on this. And I think real quick for those of you who are watching, this is a Face of a Hero show, but it's not, it's about heroes, but then those that we call heroes misbehave and do the no-nos, do the things that they shouldn't, doesn't mean that everyone that's a man and woman in blue are the same.
They have to be held accountable also.
Oh, for sure. They have to be held accountable. So today we're going to talk about what's happening around our community, what's happening in Memphis, what's happened in Indiana not too long ago, and I don't care to really throw people under the bus. It's just what the favorite phrase is. It is what it is, right?
Right. And
And so
they make the other men in blue, women in blue look bad also. And I'm sure that they don't accept that culture.
exactamente. Exactly. And so, what's taken place and off the air, Agustin and I were talking about this Memphis issue that happened. Now I can say black on black, right?
That's right.
So, is it racism? Is it police brutality? We can't say it's racism completely on this incident because
No,
the five police officers weren't white, weren't Caucasian. What
no,
were
and
they?
I
What were
not
they, Agustin?
and I saw the attorney that is representing the family of the poor individual that got killed on this, saying that he wants other individuals held accountable for it, and like the prosecutors that are white and everybody else. And he's diverting, and I understand it's what happened here is tragic. It's a tragic. And is this the culture in Memphis? Is this what is normal there that's going on? That's what we
I
need to
think
find
so.
out.
I think so. I actually talked to an officer. He is a chief of the police and also a state police chief of staff. Right now, he's currently serving as a chief, and we discussed that, and that has been their norm. That has been the way it's been in Memphis. I mean, we were just rioting because of what took place with George Floyd, and it's in the same place. It's in Memphis, right? And so I asked, and I said, well, that just shows that there's lack of training, right? Totally. But that you got to take it up a notch to
Right,
the top where
right.
it starts to allow that to take place year after year after year. What does that say about the leadership, the administration at its best? What does it say?
Sounds like a normal culture there. I mean, that's, you know, maybe I'm being unfair, but if there's a pattern there, there needs to be a change from the top. Needs to be a change.
And that I think is showing by the way that I mean, and you agree or disagree, and we're okay to disagree, folks. This is a talk show, and this is about heroes, but this is so prevalent that I felt that we need to discuss this here. And please feel free to comment, and we'll respond to your comments later or questions. But if if this is continually happening in Memphis or in any other cities or states, that means somebody's missing the boat. Somebody is missing what's important. As an activist, I will tell you that I have gone and spoken to chief of police at different times, different years when it came to racism, racial profiling. And we know when that happens, it happens. And this, I cannot call that racial profiling for a stop because they were all black. Police brutality, I think that's truly what it really was. And I've had a relative that was a victim of police brutality years ago. But you mostly see it white on black or white on brown. This says that this has been their standards, as in acceptable. It's acceptable to be this way. It's acceptable to beat someone up. But then when I want to see the racism side, I said, and you mentioned it off the air as well, Tino. I said, well, wait a minute. They got these 5 cops like that, like that. And I was told that there was a Caucasian police officer that also tased him. They haven't gotten him yet. So, what could
Hmm.
that be saying? A ver, Tino, what do you think, Agustin?
Well, my thoughts on it. First of all, to be honest, I haven't really followed everything. I've been just hearing sound bites here and there. Been reading different little things. I haven't really gone in depth into what actually happened in that. But one of the things that you know, I did read, or actually I did hear, is if these 5 officers got arrested right away, is this going to be the norm? I'm sorry, if they got suspended or fired, arrested, and then charged, is this going to be the norm for every policeman where there is police brutality? Now, I can understand there has to be a trial, but this was caught on video. So, the old saying is,
They still have to do their due process, unfortunately.
yes,
Videos don't lie.
right.
I mean,
But
it was right there.
and my thoughts, and because I've seen a lot of videos, on Facebook, on YouTube, where what happened prior to this. And I'm not defending the policeman, but I've always liked to see what happened, because I've seen some videos where they only videotape or they edit where it looks bad, but where did it lead up to that this happened? And again, I'm not defending those policemen, but I like to see the whole story on it. The whole
Well,
story. This,
the sad part of all this, Tino, Agustin, sorry, I love my brother here, is that the body cameras, I was able to see all the body camera shots of the young boy that was running from them and didn't have a weapon on him. And they shot him over 50 times and they still handcuffed him after killing him. They still handcuffed him. I was able to see on YouTube every camera view possible from every police body cam. That was horrific to see. So I'm sure that these body cams will be seen on YouTube by the police. I think it's almost like they have to do that, because I was like, wow, they're actually showing every body cam. It was like 13 different views
oh wow.
from
So
every officer that ran after him, right? So that's what happened with this young boy. And my condolences to Tyree Nichols' family, friends. He was a father of 4. Did he deserve to die, to be treated
absolutely
like
not.
an animal, to be dragged like an animal? Absolutely not. Now, I heard from someone else that they actually knew him.
So the 5 policemen actually knew. So he had
That
a
there was,
history with them.
yeah, that there
Okay.
was a slight history. How much of that is true, I don't know. But to kill him over a reckless driving,
No.
Nichols, a 29-year-old black motorist, was pulled over January 7th for what police said was reckless driving after attempting to flee on foot. Yeah, he ran. He was scared for his life, because I heard what he was saying on that video and saying, please, I just want to go home. His We don't know what was going through his mind. Was he scared stiff that I'm going to die right here? I won't see my son. I won't see my family. We don't know what was going through his mind, and he's no longer here, unfortunately, to tell us.
Yeah. Unfortunate is, and that one of the things that I don't understand is it's um maybe because I'm not in that situation, but why do they run? And again, I'm not defending the police. I'm just
But
curious to know.
how much are they in threat when they're running? Do you shoot to aim to the leg, the foot, or do you aim to kill? What is it? I talked about this before years ago on another show. Are you supposed to just hurt the person? Or are you supposed to, if you're going to pull your gun out, you're there to kill him? Which is it? I think that if you shoot to the leg,
You
you're
can't shoot
bound
the
to catch
leg.
up with them.
They're trained. They're
You're
trained
bound to
to.
catch up with them. So are you trained to kill?
But here's the thing: if they're chasing him, why can't they just tase him?
Well, they were
Why shoot him?
tasing him. They were tasing him when they got him, right?
Right.
But
But what I'm saying is that as they chase him, why don't they tase him as opposed to shooting him?
how far? That's a good question. I'm going to ask some of my police
I
friends.
think
How
it's
far
maybe
does tasing
maybe
get to?
about 15 feet. But it again, if he's running and you again, real quick, if they have a history with him, here's me. If I have a history with a criminal, and I says, "Oh, I know, I'm going to see this guy again," and it's let him go. It says, "All right, we'll catch up with him. We'll catch up with him." But did he have something on him? What was the purpose of these individuals to really, really want to catch him? What did they really want to do with him? Did he have any information on them that they were trying to silence him?
Because it's just black on black. That makes you question so much. What was going on, right? What was really happening, right? So I'm reading here. It says that they're mostly peaceful protests over police brutality. I used to be one of those protesters. I used to be one of those that marched until I said, "What are we really getting out of this? What are we really saying?" Right? Are we saying yes? This is not appropriate. This is not acceptable. This is not humane. This is mistreatment. Um, but then, are we really helping change the law? Are we really helping change policy? So now, the last time that I had gotten a call, keep in mind I'm still an activist, but I'm just not doing the marching and the signs and the rah, rah, rah. So people reached out to me and said, "Hey, we believe that we're getting racially profiled," right?
right,
In one of my former cities. And so I said, "Okay, well, I need to get the evidence." And it all happened because one person got stopped. She was running late to wherever she was going. She was throwing out names. "I know so and so, so I'm going to tell on you," kind of thing, right? And so now she's like trying to build a case. I understand. Okay. Do you have any tickets from others that were stopped and to prove that there was racial profiling? Because who stopped them was a Caucasian police officer. And I know that spot because I got stopped once. It's in a bridge and you're going down. If you don't slow down before you go down, guess what? You're going to speed up. Right.
right.
And so, okay, it seemed to look like it may be a possible racial profiling. So I got permission from, uh, yes, I got permission from the people that got stopped. They sent me their police report and I got their permission to see the video, the body cam video.
Okay.
And so the officers, the chief, they knew me. So they said, "We understand what you do and we appreciate your work and working diligently." Because prior to that, we had already gone through a protest. We actually did a press conference in front of the police station. We had media and everything because someone was detained and was released in reconnaissance, but they decided to detain him longer than what the law requires for ICE to pick him up. So we made a big stink out of that, right? But this, I saw the camera, I saw their videos, and I was like, okay. They stopped a Hispanic guy, and the police officer was going to write a ticket, but he said, "Why were you speeding?" And when he asked him for his registration, he didn't have it. He was driving his mom's car, but he said something that touched the officer's heart. "This is my day, my only day to have my child with me. I'm sorry I don't have the registration. It's my mom's car." Now, if it really was racial profiling, do you think that officer would have just let him go? He had to impound that car. and write him a ticket. Right? Improper registration or no registration. And I think he was driving on a suspended license.
Wow.
He had every right to do more than what he did. But I think what caught him, because it caught me, was he says, "Today is the day to see my child." And I was on my way there to pick up my child. And I borrowed my mom's car. So there goes that case. I was trying to build a case by
Yep.
saying, "Hey, give me the tickets." So that means that, we do our due diligence to find out. But this to me, in all of it, yes, there has been some racism, some racial profiling, but it's really truly police brutality.
It is. It is.
Brutality. And so if a person flees, and they were talking about
But I have a question on it because I know that this is something that people always talk about: racism, police brutality. Here's another. Could it be classism?
mm,
Because since it's black on black, I know that I've worked in on the near west side here in Chicago, and there is a thing as classism because you have your well-to-do blacks, and then you have your quote unquote, as they call them, their hood rats. So it was classism, and even I've talked to a few friends. They said the same thing. It says it's classism because sometimes you feel because you're more educated than they are, and the way they present themselves, the way
they have a little
they
more class, educated,
speak
middle class,
exactly.
upper class. Mm. That's a good one. That's a good one. So here's what I'm seeing. It says police body cam. And guys, we're only going to be here for a half hour since we did not bring a guest, but I felt that we needed to talk about what's happening and how should we
Absolutely.
react as community. Should we react like animals? No. Two wrongs don't make a right. And you can't get love out of hate. Okay. Hate with hate, there's
That's
no
right.
love there. And I'm not here to cause division. I can speak for me. You,
Yes.
if you feel the same, that's great. But it says that police body cam video shows a violent arrest. Police said on January 8th that Nichols was taken into custody after a traffic stop that involved two confrontations with officers. During the initial confrontation, Nichols fled the scene of the traffic stop, police said. Following the arrest, Nichols then complained about shortness of breath, according to authorities, and was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he died on January 10th. What does the video say? Police may say all they want, but what does the video say? What is it showing? That shows like a beatdown. They violently beat him.
So you just said that he had two confrontations with these same policemen in that same time span.
Says that this is what police said
Of
the next
course.
day, January 8th, that Nichols was taken into custody after a traffic stop that involved two confrontations with officers. And during that confrontation, Nichols fled the scene of the traffic stop.
At
And
what
then
point? I'm sorry.
following the arrest, they said he complained of shortness of breath. Those videos show I don't care if you need an ambulance because I counted the minutes, longer than 15 minutes. An ambulance should have shown up within 5 to 10 minutes if they really cared
If they if
for
they
his
called,
well-being.
if they called,
Exactly. That's a good question. But I'm sure everything is on record.
yes.
Everything is on record. So as the family has been saying is that the police beat him so severely that he was unrecognizable.
Oh
And I
wow.
saw the picture. I saw his picture. And it's just horrific to see. And I was like, why do we keep sharing these videos? What about the family? Well, I think the family, and I may be wrong, but from what I'm hearing is that they're actually the ones to say to put it out there, to show proof that it was the police, not
Right.
their son, not
And
their
they,
father.
yeah, they wanted to show how horrific these police officers treated their sibling.
You kill one of your own, people. That's really what it was. You killed one of your own. What happened to my brother's keeper? You can see in that video that he was dragged. He was kicked. He was punched. Being tased is nothing compared to what this child of God went through. And
Exactly.
I saw him barely moving in those videos. It was kind of dark, but you can see them dragging him like a freaking animal. But yet, we respect animals more than we respect human
We
beings.
sure
We have
do.
a problem here, people.
We sure do.
I mean, just to rescue a cat from a tree,
God
we
forbid you
become,
touch. God forbid you touch somebody's dog.
you're going to jail. You're
That's
being
it.
fined. I'm going to sue you because you killed my dog. Yes, I understand, people. My respects to animals. I don't care for them, but I don't disrespect them. I don't hurt them. I just rather not have animals around me. But I'm not going to respect an animal more than I'm going to respect a human being.
Right.
That was somebody's father, somebody's son, somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, somebody's friend, somebody's coworker. And how many more does it gonna take? Senseless killing. How many more is it gonna take? And you know, my respects to you, men and women in blue, because I love you and I know some of you personally. You're great with me, and we have a great rapport and good relationships, and I want to continue that. So instead of bringing hate out of this, instead of being angry out of this, yeah, it hurts to see that, right? Watch and pray. But I said, there's training needed here.
From the
I
top.
always, yeah, from the top down. And I always said there should be a psychological evaluation every year to see where they're at, to see what their heart is feeling, because there's a heart problem, people.
I'm just curious to see if any of these individuals had any military behind them. Have they served? Because I know that some of them they still have that in them that they think that they're dealing with the enemy.
Oh, and the enemy is working at his best right now. It is a spiritual warfare, but you know, to hear his screaming as a mom, I just couldn't bear the thought that being my son. Now, let's switch it up a notch. It's we've been into the show 22 minutes already, and we are limiting our time, and we are coming on every Thursday. What time, Tino?
8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Central
That's what,
Standard.
8 o'clock every Thursday. Face of a Hero. We're going to bring some heroes. I've been talking to them, just scheduling to bring them on because they're busy people being heroes. Hey, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. Well, not too long ago, a video was shared to me. Actually, it was shared to me yesterday that an incident took place in Indiana, in Lake County. And it was a stop. A stop. Not sure exactly what kind of stop it was, but it was a stop. And so these two officers, Lake County Sheriff officers, um, stopped him, but they thought he wasn't going to stop because he continued. According to the video, it shows, and if you know who that family is, it was a father, son, and grandson at a stop from the Lake County Sheriff. Not sure where, but I'd like to talk to the family because we're going to get some media involved. Because if we don't call out the enemy, if we don't call out what's wrong, see, we can't just be spectators as we see a lot, right? I was thinking, we see a
Right.
lot of spectators. Let's get our phone out. No, you call somebody. And I was wondering if anybody was witnessing the beating of this young man actually called for a sheriff, someone up there to come and witness this
Absolutely.
and pull his men away from this young man, pull them away to show that there was no just cause to do that to him. So when I saw this officer, Caucasian officer, actually yanked this man out of his car, a regular stop. Oh, well, we thought you were fleeing. He says, sir, I was trying to make sure I made a safe stop. You didn't see the bus in front of me? I saw the one thing that was wrong right away, and I shared the video to a chief of police, and he too agreed with me. That went wrong. And for the sheriffs to agree that that is the right, appropriate behavior, that is also wrong. That is also wrong. He asked, "Why are you asking? Why are you pulling me out? I mean, he threatened him. If you don't get out of your car, I'm gonna yank you out. Well, he actually did.
Wow.
Over a stop. We've used the badge and it got to our head.
The power.
So when you go on a power trip, Agustin, you can see it, don't you? I got a badge, I got a gun, I'm better than you. I'm bad. I'm gonna show you
Hey,
who's
I know about these power trips because I had a boss that she wore her title on her forehead.
mm,
Power
mm,
trip.
mm. And titles don't make people,
Nope.
folks. Okay. And so we need to not do the kumbaya thing and the protest thing. And here comes the leaders. They're coming out of the woodwork and now they're out there.
Like the
God bless
roaches.
you all. Right. God bless you all. And then it's election years and I'm going to show me. I'm going to show up. Let's show up when it's black on black. Let's show up when it's brown on brown. Not only when it's a police and a civilian.
Right.
Don't just show up for that. Where
Show
are
up
the
when
riots?
these, like in Chicago, show up when these innocent children are getting shot. Show up for that. Make a statement on that. Especially here in Chicago, we're getting a lot of another child got shot. I mean, it's like an every weekend thing. A child gets shot.
And we're losing, yeah. And I think by not supporting that or being there to say, we need to stop killing ourselves. We need to come together as brothers and sisters. That when Black and Brown communities come together, that is such a strong, powerful force to bring peace and love among each other. And not let me stir up some more anger. We're already angry. That's why we're killing people, because we're angry. It's a heart problem.
Yep.
Spiritual being, it's a spiritual problem and a heart problem. And so, how do we solve this, folks? For those that are watching this show, ask yourself, how can I be part of the problem, or how am I part of the problem? Because if you're a spectator, you are part of the problem.
Right.
So the question should be, what do we need to do to make it better? How can we be part of a solution and not the problem? Because a lot I've seen, and you tell us, Agustin, if you've seen it too, when you see something and you don't do anything about it.
That's the billion-dollar question. How do we fix this? And
Let's get
my
involved. Let's
my
get involved.
personal thing is let's say my personal feeling on this, it begins at home. Begins at
Don't
home.
stir it up at home, man. Let me tell you, I'm teaching my daughter to be a fighter. I'm not going to put up with nobody's mess. So I saw a video of a child beating up on her teacher, beating up her teacher, and got in her face and said, "You're not my mother, and you can't tell me what to do." And I've experienced people like that in my grammar school, in my middle school,
Oh
and
yeah.
I've experienced that. So when I see a parent do the same thing, I said, that's where they get it from. That's their educator. A parent, we are the first educators.
That's right.
It starts at home, it starts here, it gets here, and it comes out here, and then it ends up here. Well, you cannot bring peace out of hate.
No. No. It's give you I'm gonna take you back to when I was in grammar school. I misbehaved. They called my father. My father came to the school. In the principal's office, he took off his belt and he spanked me.
Oh, that was the day the parents would say, wait, don't spank them until I get there. They come in with their belt and they'll whoop their butt in front of the classes.
And
That's
had
it.
me apologize.
And did that work?
Absolutely. I
Now
never
it's
wanted
child
my father to come back to school again.
now it's child abuse.
And it was, and honest to God, um, it was my fault. And I'm gonna admit it, it was my fault. I was misbehaving. But now these kids, because they're not taught right at home, they said, oh, they're just picking on me or this. And I get it. Yes, you do get picked on sometimes, but how if you're not respecting your teacher, if you're not respecting not even the teacher, let's say if it's the staff at school or whatever, in reality, whose fault is it then?
Mm.
If you have no respect.
That we've
So,
lost that, and that's the reason for this show, to gain back the empathy and the respect, mainly for our men and women in blue, because I get it. It enrages you to see someone getting hurt and killed by an officer who should be there to serve and protect. But that doesn't mean that everybody does that everybody is like that. There are there are men and women in blue that actually love their community and
oh
they
yeah,
would give up their life for their community.
yep,
So this isn't a problem that happens daily. Yes, it happens. One is too many times. But again, we really have to pay attention to where the crime is really happening. Black on black, brown on
and also, to defend the men in blue, if again, it's probably like 3% that between the 3 and 1% that are the bad ones. But if you adhere to what they say, you get pulled over, and first thing I do is take my driver's license, my license out, because I know 7 out of 10 times, if I didn't do anything wrong, they're going to let me go. But why am I going to escalate something that is nothing?
Right, but it doesn't always lead from escalation. That stop that I saw out here in Lake County, Indiana.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that 7 out of 10 times, they will let you go. But you got those 3% right there that you got some bad cops, and that's either the 1 or the 3% that are bad
Right.
that they
And
want.
if we keep allowing that type of behavior to go in that police force and you don't do something about it, then you too are part of the problem. So my solution is better training for your men and women in blue. Psychological evaluations. We're not violating anything, although if the law says that we are, by doing a psychological evaluation every year, because as you guys have seen our interviews, you've heard the stories, the horrific stories that they too go through, that they live and they have nightmares and all that. They go through stuff, man. They witness horrific things, from a child being burnt to someone coming out of a car all dismembered and everything. Okay, they go through things. They're human beings. They have a heart, they have a mind, and they can't always go cold and never feel. So they need to, and you heard Officer was that Major Jerry Williams that we brought on the last time, what he said. And he encourages down from the top going down to get help.
Absolutely.
To get help. That doesn't make you less of a man. You got issues up here, and now you're going to take it out in the community. And because let's just say that I did something and you stopped me and you happen to find out who I am and you don't like me, and I was messing with your boyfriend or girlfriend, and now I'm going to get a beat down. So you're using that you already had in you, and forget that you're supposed to also abide by the law. When I see a law enforcement officer violate a law and they get away with it, and they're supposed to actually not just make sure that we abide by the law, but I think they need to be held accountable too.
I think so too. I mean, they're not above the law. They're there to enforce the law, but they have to abide by the law themselves.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And so we want to keep bringing heroes here. Our time is up, Agustin. I know that we can continue to talk on, but
Already?
yeah, yeah, I got things to do, places to go, too. But you know what? Stay tuned for more. And,
Yes,
thank you for following me on social media platform. I'm here to be the voice that feel that they don't have a voice. But when I'm at the table, you all have a voice. I'm there to represent the Latino community as an advocate. But most of all, we want to make sure that there's fairness, that there is equality, that there is good treatment, integrity, and dignity, and not be treated like animals, because we're all human beings and we're all going to pay for what we do here on earth. Let me tell you, because what you reap, you will sow, right?
absolutely.
So tell everybody when do we come on, and if you guys see on the bottom of the screen, that's our
Yes.
website, that's our phone number.
Come and see us every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your comments. We want to hear your voice. Call us. Reach out to us, thefaceofahero.com, 773-809-0106.
Yes. Follow
And
us on Facebook.
Yes,
right?
follow us on Facebook,
Yes.
and send us somebody, a hero. Somebody that you feel is a hero, whether they're in the medical field, whether they're in red, whether they're in blue. But we
Or
want to
just
hear their
someone,
stories.
yeah, or just someone in the community out there that's done something that's heroic.
Yes,
I'm actually going to reach out to someone that was part of the 911, the 9/11 day that was in the Twin Towers, and she truly has a powerful story. So I'm reaching out to her to bring her on and hear her story. It doesn't have to be 9/11 day to talk about 9/11. It's just a hero that was out there to save lives, that was there
yes,
and said, I'm not going to just run. I'm going to run to it and help save lives. So thank you for watching The Face of a Hero. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of
yes.
course, EBE is here for you. And ¿quién más aquí?
Agustin.
Agustin Marron. So with that, guys, thank you once again for just showing up. And we're going to respond to your comments and know that the show is every Thursday. So we thank you.
Yes.
Until next time, guys. And
Good
when are we
night,
coming
and
again?
be safe.
Yeah. And when are we coming back again?
Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right,
Every
guys.
Thursday, come and see us.
That's right. And so we got to go. We got places to see
That's
and
right.
people to go and, people to see, places to go. And we just got to stay prayed up. We got to stay, do the good, sow a good seed, help a neighbor, help somebody in need, because it's not really about us. It's about how can we be the change that we want to see. Right?
Absolutely. Be
All
safe,
right.
everybody. Till
Nos
next time.
vemos. Hasta la próxima. See you later.
See you, Eve.
Till next time.